So my dream is to make silly little videos of my adventures on YouTube. And recently I went back to my 9 to 5, and I think it has actually saved my dream.
Okay, so the backstory. I started filming my outdoor adventures about 10 years ago, and it took me 7 years to get the courage to finally post something.
I hopped in a van with my partner, we started making these videos of our travels, and we just went full steam right into content creation and making videos, which worked for a while we were traveling and having fun, and there were tons of things to shoot, and there was a natural sort of sense of story.
Unfortunately for us, we did have to get back to work. We did eventually have to get an apartment, pay rent, and having that bill at the end of the month, we needed to work. I personally thought the best way to do that was to take contracts and work sort of non-full-time career-related jobs.
So for about 14 months, I was doing contract work because I specifically wanted to make sure that I had sort of the free time and flexibility to go and make these videos. Having sort of 3 weeks vacation, working 9 to 5, Monday to Friday at a desk job just didn't seem like something that would allow me to create.
And over that 14-month period of having sort of the flexibility and time off to supposedly create more, I made a whopping 3 videos. Since going back to work now and working a full 9 to 5 with probably more hours than that, I have made almost 3 videos every month.
So I think some of the things that I didn't know were going to be such a problem, working contract to contract means that you are constantly looking for new contracts. And especially I think for myself, like that was a very easy way for me to procrastinate creating. Thinking about what my next opportunity is, how I'm going to make this perfect set of, contract, thinking about how those are going to impact my future took up way too much time. I was constantly looking at new jobs. I was constantly thinking about how those were going to affect me, and I made no videos. To worry about where your next paycheck is coming is a big deal. That was a major source of stress while I was working contracts. And I think that actually ate up a lot of the time and creativity that I would have put into making videos. Now that I know I have a steady paycheck, I can budget and figure things out and fall into a routine, I feel much more at ease, and my creative mind has started flowing much better than it did when I was in that period of worrying about paying for rent.
So the other big block I had as far as making videos while I was in this time period was imposter syndrome. Having quit my job and essentially tied my success and career identity to being a YouTuber when I didn't have the credentials or ability to tell a good story was really debilitating.
I am super new to this. I am working on the art of storytelling. I am not a good storyteller. I would love to be. I am working on it. But when you are in that sort of beginning stage, you need to just be putting in the reps. You need to be making things, having them be terrible, and that is just what making art is about at the start. When I met new people and they said, what do you do? I panicked. I had such an intense moment of fear. What that ended up making me do is that instead of going out there and making bad art, instead of just, this is a stupid idea, I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just going to try it anyway and then learn from it.
I wouldn't work on an idea unless the idea was absolutely perfect, crazy, wild idea that was, for sure going to get views. Or if I filmed anything poorly or didn't get enough content, definitely wasn't going to post that. And then also sometimes the editing, I just was not able to put it together in a way that I felt was of a professional YouTube quality. And because nothing that I do right now is professional YouTube quality, I am, of course, not going to post anything.
Which, in contrast to now, sort of going back to my 9 to 5, and my identity is not as tied to this career of making videos on YouTube, I feel so much more space to be terrible at this. I have made so many more videos now since going back to this job and realizing that it is okay if my videos are terrible. Let's just work on the craft of making something. And it has been so freeing. So yes, I have been working more. I have a lot less flexibility with being able to jump on a plane and go travel somewhere and make an adventure video, or get on a bike and go make an adventure video. But I do have a lot more space to be bad at this, to make smaller ideas happen. A weekend is plenty of time for me to now make an adventure video and actually complete it, and then learn from that and get better at the craft. So hopefully in the future, when YouTube actually does start paying the bills, I will have the opportunity to go do bigger and more bold trips, but I'll actually be good at telling stories at that point and actually sort of meet the moment of those bold ideas, instead of in the past where I've had some big bold ideas and haven't actually been able to follow through on them because I'm not very good at this.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't jump headfirst into their dreams, into their passion projects. I think that that is really amazing, and I am trying to still honor that while I am working this 9 to 5. I do think if you have a dream, if there is something you want to go and achieve, there is a creative pursuit that you are seeking, I think it's really, really important that you just start. Whether you are working, in school, whatever it is, just start. I wish I had started so much sooner. I really do. I wish that I had started posting videos when I first started filming them, because the learning curve is steep and you will get good fast if you just go out and make things.
So yeah, if you get anything from this, all I would say is just start. Start your dream. Start it now. Don't wait. Don't wait like me. Start it now. You will learn so much. You need to be bad at things before you can be good at them. And it is much better to start that before you make that your identity and say that that's your career. Make crappy music in your basement before you start going around and saying you're a full-time musician. Start taking photos while you're working at a cafe before you go around telling everyone that you're a photographer.
So thank you for listening to the rants of a nobody on YouTube. I appreciate it. And if you are like me, this will hopefully help, because starting is honestly the hardest part, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. You really just need to start.